Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. This is episode number 500. I want to take an opportunity to thank Leo Laporte. If we go back to the summer of 2005, I was flying up to Toronto every month to do a couple of shows for Call for Help, and I was actually flying home from Toronto, and the fellow next to me at the bar was from Los Angeles, and he said, Leo Laporte, we love his radio show. Did you know that Leo's Twit podcast is the #1 podcast on iTunes? And I have to admit, I didn't understand a single word in that sentence. I didn't know what Twit was, I didn't know what a podcast was, and I had never heard of iTunes. But the next time I was in Toronto, I asked Leo about it, and Leo was the one who said, Bill, you really should do an Excel podcast. And over the next couple of months, he helped me out, showed me what to do, and we came up with the idea that it should be a 2-minute daily video podcast. And now here we are at episode number 500. Now my favorite Leo podcast is Leo and Dick Debartolo, the Daily Gizwiz, and whenever they reach a milestone, like an even number 100 podcast, Dick calls on his friends and they have a whole bunch of cool stuff to give away. So I went to both of my publishers, and Q very nicely threw in an iPod pedia, a Google pedia, and Q came through with 10 great prizes. First two prizes are a bundle of 5 books. They are also giving us an iPod pedia, a Google pedia, special edition using Excel. Holy Macro Books threw in a couple of Power Excel bundles, several Learn Excel books. Me personally, I'm going to throw in a 30 gigabyte video iPod, brand new from the Apple Store. In all, we have 40 prizes. Very easy contest to win. All you need to do is send your name and postal address to 500@MrExcel.com in honor of the 500th episode. Let's do that by Monday, May 7th, midnight Eastern Time. Get me your name and postal address. Please only enter once. If we have less than 40 people enter, then you all win. If more than 40 people enter, we'll have to end up using RANDBETWEEN and figure out the order of the prizes using some sort of a random number scheme. Now, for today's podcast, coincidentally, we have the challenge of the month from March and April, which was the best received challenge ever. Over 500 entries were sent in. So let's figure out how we're going to choose the winner. Of those 500 entries we went through, and 407 of them had the correct formula. Now, it's interesting that in those 407 entries, there were over 360 different approaches. I always say that there's always 2, 3, 4 ways to do things in Excel, but for that particular commission challenge, over 350 different formulas that worked came in, which is astounding. I'm going to write up 4 or 5 of the best ones and get them to you. Okay, so we have this list of 407 names, and I noticed that a few people sent in multiple entries. They sent in different formulas, and I want to eliminate those so that way everyone's in there once. And to do that, we'll use Data Filter Advanced Filter. So we choose one cell in our data set, Data Filter Advanced Filter. Say that we want to copy it to another location, specify that it's going to go to C3, and say that we want unique records only. And just that quickly, Excel will give us just the unique 362 names in the original list. Now, I'm going to use the index function here. The index function equal index of C4 to 365, and then ask for a particular row number. And so the way this works is if we chose row number 1, it would be that person, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4. Now, to come up with our winner, we're going to use the RANDBETWEEN function equal RANDBETWEEN and ask for 1 through 362. RANDBETWEEN is easier to use than the old RAND function, but you have to have the analysis tool pack turned on. All right, so when we hit enter here, we'll have our winner of the Power Excel bundle for the March-April challenge. Here we go. There it is. It's Peter Sticker. So congratulations to Peter. I'll be dropping him an email, figure out where to ship his Power Excel bundle. And for everyone who didn't win, please feel free to enter our contest. We have over 40 great prizes to give away. Just send me your name and postal address to 500@MrExcel.com. We'll probably run through a list of the winners in a podcast next week. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow for another podcast, number 501 from Mr. Excel.